Jen.
Hey, Dana. Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Hypnosis.
And beyond.
Today we have the pleasure of welcoming the multi talented Jennifer Aves. She is an international practitioner of holistic medicine, board certified reflexologist, owner of Balance Health Solutions, founder of the Free Spirit Festival, and international author of the newly released Key Reset: How I Fixed My Shitty Attitude by Finding My Spark from Within. Hey, Jen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Dana and Jennifer. I'm really excited to be here and chatting about the key reset.
Amazing. Well, I know a little bit about you, but our viewers definitely want to get to know you. And you've just released a book. So, do you want to take us through your journey to kind of where you are right now?
Yeah, for sure. Well, how many hours do you have now? I'm just kidding. I don't want to bore anybody, but the long and short is the book's called The Key Reset, and it's about how I fixed my shitty attitude by finding my spark of joy from within. Um, And it's really just been a journey of going within and just wanting more and kind of really it was sadness. It was sadness that drove me within and I couldn't figure out why at the end of the day, you'd sit there and go like all intents purposes like this should be a good experience or this I should be feeling better and why do I feel this like lingering deep sadness? And so that's kind of what started everything. So that journey of going within and kind of documenting, and it wasn't even a book at the time. It was just me trying to figure out, you know, why I was so unhappy. And it just as I went on that journey within, I thought, okay, well, wow, like that was so pivotal, or that felt really resonated deep. And it made me think, this maybe isn't more, it's more than just journaling. Now it's becoming um it was just like a year of focusing of like really focusing on myself. And it sounds like weird or selfish or like I love it because it's what you need to do. um Everything else kind of stemmed from there. Like the book kind of was birthed from that. Even the Free Spirit Festival um, came a couple years into me writing the book and thinking, because this was a 5-year journey, right? So this is our third annual festival. Like it was like there has to be more like-minded people who are going on that journey within and who are looking for other people like-minded. It's long and short.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, full disclosure, I get to live close by you, and I've known you for, I guess, a couple of years now.
Yeah.
When I first met you, you are just like you have that aura of just like sunshine,
Oh,
and you're always up and you're ready to give somebody a hug. And so my impression of you is that you've just always been like that. So I understand that you had sort of a conventional life with that. I don't, that's probably not the right
yeah.
word. And then it kind of drew you into this. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, I've always like it's two-sided because I mean, in some part of me, I've had that spark from a child, but also I didn't always listen to it. So like it would come and go. Like I would be very inspired to like create, like at 10, I was like, I can create a different life for myself. I see myself doing something big. And I just thought, oh, I'm 10 years old. Like I'm this little kid sitting in church, like, and in other ways, it was like, you disconnect from yourself constantly, and I think that like that spark just came and went, came and went, came and went. And people say like, I can't believe you had a shitty attitude. I definitely did, but I just think I now I live more in the spark of the joy, which I feel like it's so possible for people. I think that it's such a choice, and it's such a, when you really accept your true authentic like Like when I accepted that I love being, like an inappropriate, almost like 14-year-old boy. Like I love that part of me. And when I started to really embrace it, I think that's where that journey really became. So even though I tended to save a lot of the best parts of myself for other people, especially strangers. So even for myself, like I wasn't giving myself that. I wasn't giving even my family all the time that, where now it's like I feel like I actually live and breathe in the light. I'm not just like inspired by this, inspired by that, or like, they say like go to church. You go to church, when you come out, you're an asshole like all day. So it was like I want to
Yeah.
be that self-help junkie that like talked about like being awake and living in light, but actually do it and apply these things and apply self-care. And so I think that is where that fixing of the shitty attitude came, because I really had to address that I wasn't applying it daily and living by it. Like if you I think people become awake and asleep, awake and asleep. I don't think it's like you're awake and you're always awake. I think that we come and go in and out of it. So I think it's just really harnessing into that joy of life and knowing that every day, like I wake up and now I'm like, oh my God, I get to be alive today. Like, what do I want to do? And it's just a lot more exciting and fun and less pressure. And yeah, and there's just a different balance now. So yeah, I appreciate you seeing that part of me, because that is what I see now myself.
Yeah, because when we first met, I don't know if you're still doing it, you're really into cold plunging.
Hmm.
Is that still a part of your daily routine?
Yes, I've pivoted. I still cold plunge. I've actually integrated sauna in there. It's a really great balance. Again, can be very uncomfortable of like it's a different uncomfortable of being overly warm. Like it just another level of being comfortable with the uncomfortable.
And so it's really, resetting your neurology, sort of starting from the beginning of the day, and it just brings you into alignment, or how
Yes,
would you
I always
describe
say
it?
like the cold save me. Like through all that with the book and everything, I also was going through a divorce. I had a child who was diagnosed with PTSD at like 8 years old. There was a lot happening. And for me, in order for me to not like take it out on my family or my stress out, I really went into the cold. Like it was like I always say the cold saved me. Like I would be like, okay, I'm talked like I always call it being stacked. Like I felt really stacked. And I would go into that cold and it would just bring it makes you be present. You cannot, it doesn't matter what you're thinking about when you go into that really icy cold. That's why I loved even cutting a hole in the ice going in. It brings you into that present moment, and the water just felt like it held me and it released, and it was literally almost like being baptized every morning. Like it was very healing. And it was also saying to myself, like, you're making this small amount of time for yourself to do something that when you get out of that water, you feel amazing. Like it supercharged my metabolism. And yeah, like my hands used to be ice cold in the winter. They hurt, like I'd be like running to the car and turning my heated seat and hurt. And now it's like I was like walking across to the lake in my bikini, like coming back and it's 20 below. So it's like it's weird. It kind of allows your mind to be open to different possibilities of like almost like conditioning that we're like, don't go in the cold, you're gonna get a cold. Like, no, you don't get colds from being in the cold. Like you can get, hyperthermia if you're not careful, but you really the body is so resilient. It's just a healing machine. And I think I really started to tap into that healing aspect of letting go past conditioning. Any kind of I'm always like questioning everything, questioning what I say, because it's like your body is a healing machine, and I think that that's probably the biggest lesson the cold has taught me. The book has taught me that we are constantly making mistakes, but we are constantly able to heal and grow and evolve from all of that. So yeah, long and short, I am
Wow.
still cold plunge, just not every single morning. I've integrated some different practices of yoga and breath work as well. So yeah, sometimes I just pick different tools from the toolbox.
I just love that.
Oh,
Go ahead,
thank
Dana.
you. I was gonna ask, when you were having those moments that you describe as being awake and being asleep and being ready to find your joy, would you say that it the cold plunge that was the first kind of step in that direction, or was there something else that started your journey to try to find your joy?
Yeah,
I know you had life events, but
yeah, yeah. I've always felt this calling of you, oh, like not you deserve more, but like you're worthy. You are so worthy of anything you really desire or you put your mind to. And I always felt like there was something bigger, something more. So even as a child, like I just kept circling back to this, like looking, like I was always searching and then realizing that my past conditioning actually created me to actually hold on to that sadness. Like I was thinking like, how do I let it go? How do I let it go? But really, like, why is it still coming to me? It was really me holding on to it. And it was almost like, um, I don't know. It has, there wasn't one, like, I know you're like, there one particular pivotal thing that made that? I feel like it's never one. It's like an onion. You're constantly peeling. You're constantly um, evolving into something more. So, and sometimes we stagnate. Sometimes we just stay at that level or that layer, and that's cool too. But for me, I've always had this drive that there is something more. I don't know. Like now that I actually get joy out of just like nothing in particular. Like I could just be standing there and I could hear a bird chirp and for some reason it just sounds like heaven and I like the sun and I'm just like I'll just start weeping, like weeping and when that first started to happen I thought like what's wrong? Like something wrong with my eyes? Like am I having a heart attack? Like, why am I feeling all this like heat and sensation and beautifulness? Like and I think it's just it's always evolving. I don't know if that really answers the question, but
mhm.
yeah, it's not one thing. It's like I tell people all the time, and I'm like, there's no one solution. It's just continue each day to wake up in gratitude and like what do you like, what do you want, what do you want to be doing, and finding that spark. And your spark may be that you want to play, you want to do something that's playful, enjoy life and push yourself, or go plunging. It's something different.
So, play and joy and connection brings me to the Free
Yeah.
Spirit Fest, which I get to be a vendor at, and that's coming up June 7th.
Yes.
So, what do you think? Like, tell us more about
Yeah, we're
this.
really pumped. So this is the third annual festival. The first year I had Jacinta Yang and I were the two founders, and she had decided, she was like, okay, by the second year, she's like, she'd had some health issues. She was like, okay, I think I'm, like, do you want to continue? I said, yes. So I went full on head on my own. And it has been an amazing experience of community. Like so many volunteers stepped up and said, hey, Jen, like, I want to be part of this. I want to be a facilitator. I want to be a vendor. I want to I really kind of asked the universe. Like one day, I just remember standing in my living room, saying like, "Where are my people? Like where are they?" And often now I use that where I like ask instead of me being like, "There's no one in the area who does," And there's so many of us. I feel like the Georgina's become almost like a mecca of wellness. Like over COVID, so many people started migrating here. They started living here. They're like, I don't know why. And I'd be like, tell me about you, because, and more than not, they have some kind of holistic background. Um, they're doing some kind of, they're making their own ripple. And it's like we started attracting each other. And so Free Spirit Fest is like a day you can come supercharge your soul. We have a morning of wellness sessions. It's meditation, then dance yoga, then we have breath work, then we have tapping into your emotional body. And those are 4 different facilitators, 2 women, 2 men, which I'm really excited to have men facilitating breath work and tapping into your emotional body. Huge. Brian and Joey have both been facilitators for the last 3 years. And again, it's just a culmination of us all coming together. We have over 20 local vendors. We have 5 food vendors. We have 5 live bands playing from 1 till 6. It's just going to be a day to just, it's got amazing energy. People just come. There is cold plunging even at Sauna. Uh, People just come to like rejuvenate themselves. Like I even get in there. Like last year I went and I did the breathwork session. I thought, okay, well, I'm done doing what I need to do now. I'm done talking. I'm gonna go and I got like the biggest download in that session. Joy is just amazing. Um, it's just a really great, safe space that you can just come and unplug and rejuvenate yourself. So, yeah, we're really excited. And we're really excited to have you as a vendor.
Well, I am so appreciative of what you've done with this festival. It's just incredible. And I agree with you. I think there's something really special about the area. And I attend, but I'm not sure. I mean, obviously you get the numbers and the data behind the scenes. Are people like becoming attracted from outside? Like how far afield are people coming from
Yeah,
to attend this?
we initially with this festival, it was like Georgina as a whole, there was not really any kind of holistic anything happening in the area. So it's kind of funny because we have a huge draw all the way from like Ottawa, we had Whitby, we have Ajax, we have Burlington, like all over the place people were coming in, and we're still really trying to get Georgina out. Like it's funny because the community is as a whole, the holistic practitioners, we all come together, but mainstream, we're still working at getting that to grow. Like the first year, I think we were at like 360. Last year, we were at 425. This year, we're hoping for 500 or 600 people. Like more and more, I'm hearing more people are like, oh, yeah, I heard there was a festival. So they are coming out more local. It's
Yeah.
funny because we're easily drawing in people from outside, like Toronto, no problem. I think people are seeking that locally. It's interesting that local people are the ones that were like, we as a community of holistic practitioners are really trying to um, inspire. So, universe, if you're listening, which I know you are, bring on Georgina. Yeah.
Right on.
Well, I wonder, Jen, in your journey to find joy, I wonder if there's a technique or a strategy or anything you might share with our audience that maybe a routine or just I don't know,
Sure.
is there something you
Yeah.
could do with us?
Yeah, for sure. So, a little thing that kind of came up within my book, Key Reset, and why I called it Key Reset. I was actually sitting one day with my son. I'm all about putting tools in the toolbox kind of thing. So, And he was probably like, I don't know, he's graduating. He's 17 now. So he was probably like 10 years old, and he's sitting at the table and we're trying to do his math and he's crying. And I'm just like trying not to get frustrated. And I'm like, okay, and he's like, I'm torturing him and making him stay at the table, and he just wants to leave. And so I thought, okay, I said to him, just give me a second. I'm just going to go and grab some cookies out of the cupboard because bribery, is good. And just then it literally felt like I heard his mind just just slam shut. And this is a little tool that, I tell people sometimes when we have a solution that needs to be had, if we're just observe ourselves, and sometimes we can literally hear our own minds slam shut. So I stopped and I was like, just address what's happening instead of trying to like, hey, here's a cookie and let's try this math with these cookies. I just stopped and said to him, it's so weird. I almost heard your mind just do this. Chop. And I made like a little like karate chop, like a ninja. And I said, it's like your mind just closed. And I sat there with my hands over my eyes, and all of a sudden I could sense, or I could feel his energy kind of like dissipate and just like came down from that high alert of crying. And I said, I want you to just take in a deep breath. And I said, what can you see? And he's like, and then he's like, chop. And he chopped in front of his eyes, like, and he's covering his eyes. And I said, what can you see? And he's like, well, I can't see anything. And I said, exactly. You can't see the solution. So you're having a problem, but your mind just closed off to any solution. I want you to take in a deep breath. And I said, I want you to, as you're releasing your hands, I want you to take that deep breath in and releasing, and then the solution to you will be seen. I said, it's really hard to see anything with the mind so closed. And he took in a deep breath and he stood up, and we sat there like eye to eye looking across the table. And because I had actually addressed the emotion of what was happening instead of like trying to be a solution, and I wanted him to tap back into his own body, he looked at me, and it was like we saw each other, like we really, our souls like connected. And he just like got up and gave me like, I'm gonna get emotional. He gave me the biggest hug, and he was just like, oh, mom. And then we moved on, and I pulled up the cookies and, like dividing here, his mind was so open. And through my own career, and as I was even writing the book, sometimes if my mind closed, I would literally be like, chop, like, and I would cover my own eyes. And it was like a playful way of reminding myself, not to be too serious, to be playful and light with yourself, to observe yourself without judgment, and just to like take a breath and acknowledge, okay, my mind's closing. Like I'm closing myself off to the solution, which, as we know, like the universe has a million different solutions to be had for you. You just get to, and you get to choose which one you want. I was able to just tap in and use that for myself even numerous times. So I feel like that is probably the greatest tool. So what I want to get you to, I know it's a long way around that whole concept, but I want you to just in your mind's eye, think of a current problem that you're having. And I want you to just close your eyes. I want you to give yourself a little karate chop at covering those eyes in front. And I want you to just concentrate on that problem that you have. And then I want you to take in a deep breath in, and this is the solution to be had. You're taking in a deep breath, and of course you're going to be overwhelmed or fearful of your problem. You're taking that deep breath in. And as you're releasing your hands, opening your eyes, I want you to just be open. You're open to receiving. And that receiving may happen in minutes. It may happen in days. But just be open. You're opening yourself up to receiving the answer and the solution. And I think allowing that yourself to be in that flow is key to any problem. I think often we get in our own ways of the solution, or we even create our own problems to begin with. So that would be my little take home tool, that if
Love
you
it.
are
Thank you.
feeling overwhelmed, like, yeah, just to like give yourself a moment to be, create that little, like I call it your inner ninja, like tap into that little ninja who sometimes, we like to close ourselves off, and we really want to be open, and we want to be in that receiving mode. So yeah, a little take home tool, of course,
Thank you.
a little reset for the body. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I see
Thank
David
you.
smiling. I'm
Well,
like, did you release something good? Amazing.
definitely.
Beautiful.
Well, and that brings us to our next segment, which is our silly subconscious question.
Ooh.
And our question for you today, Jen,
Yes. Yeah.
is if you were to be able to change traffic sounds from what they are today to any other sound, what would you choose and why?
Farting. Because I'm like a teenage boy. You're like, what sound? I'm like farting. I can't help it. There's like
I
no
love
filter.
it.
I
I
love
don't
it.
know. I literally, when I started to awaken and really embrace it, there's just no filter. I have this weird gift, this weird gift of like, I don't know, it was like 5 years ago. I'm like, show me your true self. And since that, when people now show me their true self, it's like I have no filter. I don't know what it is. And yeah,
Great.
so it would be a good old like tootie.
I love it.
Well, and there'd
You'd be
be
like, what's
different volumes, right? The 18-wheeler truck would be the big,
wrong?
you'd have little scooters like, beep,
Yes.
you know.
Ah, yes. Embracing
Uh,
play.
I love it. And the next question might go into play again. We always ask the question, what's your beyond?
What
What beyond all the things that you've talked about so far lights you up
lights me up?
that you might want to share with us?
Just continuing that ripple, man. I don't know what it is. Like I like the festival is happening next week, and I'm already like, and I'm gonna do a TED Talk. And I'm gonna wear this white suit, and I don't know, man. I just get excited for life, and I'm just like, show me how good, like, show me how good it can be, because I've got a great imagination, but the universe just keeps surprising me in ways that I'm like, and connections and deep connections with people that I'm like, I don't know. I'm done begging for breadcrumbs. Like I was just like, I want deep-seated connection with people. And those are the ones who like I'll like at the mayor's breakfast this morning. Some woman saw me across and she just like beelined, and I was like, oh we're connecting. And she was like, I don't know, I need to sit down with you and have a coffee and so yeah. And yeah, I think it's just that. It's
Amazing.
tapping into those connections.
Fantastic. Well, I feel inspired after this
Yes, absolutely.
conversation. Wow. Thank you so
And
much
can I
for
just
being
ask
with
you
us
one
today.
last thing as a
Yeah,
remote person to your
yeah.
festival? I know that these things are better in person. There's no question, energy and all of the benefits of being in person, but
Mm,
I'm a little ways away from you down here in
oh,
California. Have
oh,
you ever considered
yeah.
streaming it?
I have not, but I will put that in there. I will definitely put that in there because that is very interesting. And I'm always open to suggestions. Yeah. I actually have a sister who's in Victoria, and she was like, I wish I could virtually, be there. That was last year. She's coming this year. But
Uh-huh.
last year, yeah, that's very interesting, Dana. Yeah, maybe not for this year, but definitely
Okay,
for
cool.
26. Yeah, I'm
Wow.
all for opening things up. I mean, even like with Key Reset, because I uh, got picked up by a publisher in the UK. It is worldwide now, and I'm doing some Meet the Authors. Yeah,
Yay.
all over the
Amazing.
place. So, yeah, and why could it not? And we just did a mini documentary for Rogers TV about it and for the festival. So, yeah, that's very intriguing to me. I love that. Thank you for putting that seed out there. So,
Excellent. Well, we look forward to hearing more from you. We'd love to have you back again another time. And
Absolutely.
thank you for your time.
We celebrate you.
Yes.
oh, thank
That's
you,
amazing.
ladies. You're both just so inspiring. And, every time you get on here and you have amazing guests, I just kudos to you for also making that positive ripple and that you are making a difference. You do not ever get to see that, but you'll always feel it. You'll feel and tap into that infinite positive ripple that you're making. So great job, and continue, you know, being the inspiring women that you are. I'm always I love surrounding myself in strong women.
Thank
So
you.
Thank
amazing,
you. We
amazing.
appreciate that. Thank you for the kind
So,
words.
yeah.
And with that, Jennifer, what do we always say?
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Yay.